Hi, I'm Rachel. Before I continue, please like and subscribe to hear how my mother-in-law's attempt to poison my dog led to her dramatic downfall. I never thought I'd be telling this story, but here we are. I'm a software developer who married Mike, the love of my life, 2 years ago. Everything was perfect until his mother, Barbara, decided I wasn't the right kind of wife for her precious son. You know, dear, a wife's place is managing the household, not typing at computers all day, Barbara said during one of her surprise visits to our home. I was working remotely that day, and she just walked in using her spare key, which we never gave her. I appreciate your input, Barbara, but I love my career. I kept my tone neutral, though my blood was boiling. Mike needs a traditional wife, someone who can give him the attention he deserves. She picked up a framed photo of us with our rescue dog, Max. And this mutt. I told you the Thompsons had a lovely purebred golden doodle litter. Max's family, I said firmly, taking the photo from her hands. That's when Sarah, Mike's sister, walked in. Thank God for her timing. Mom, why are you here? Don't you have your garden club meeting? I'm checking on my son's household. Someone needs to maintain standards. Barbara shot me a look that could curdle milk. Later that evening, Sarah pulled me aside. You need to be careful with her. She's not just particular. She's obsessed with controlling Mike's life. She's already driven away 3 of my serious boyfriends. Does Mike know how she is? He's starting to see it. Ever since you declined her offer to manage your wedding money. The inheritance was another sore point. Barbara constantly reminded Mike about his family responsibilities and how the family money needed proper management. You know, she said during Sunday dinner, traditional wives understand the importance of family estates. They don't waste time with rescue mutts and computer games. They're software applications, Barbara, and they pay our mortgage, I replied, watching her face twist with rage. Mike squeezed my hand under the table. Mom, Rachel's career is important to her and to me, and Max is our family too. Family? Barbara scoffed. That street dog. I saw him digging in my prize roses last week. He's destroying everything, just like your wife's career is destroying our family's reputation. I felt Mike tense beside me. This wasn't just about my job or Max anymore. This was about control. Barbara couldn't stand that her son had chosen a life she couldn't manipulate. Little did I know, this was just the beginning. Barbara's need for control would soon push her to cross a line that would expose her darkest secrets and change our lives forever. Things got worse at the neighborhood barbecue. I was chatting with my friend Emma, who's also our vet, when Barbara started her performance. That dog lunged at little Tommy yesterday. I saw it with my own eyes. She was waving her hands dramatically in front of the neighbors. Max was at doggy daycare yesterday. I cut in. Would you like to see the receipt? Well, it must have been another day. He's dangerous. I've seen him bare his teeth. The only time Max bares his teeth is when he's smiling at his favorite people. Emma stepped in. He's actually one of the gentlest dogs I treat. Barbara wasn't done. She cornered Mike by the grill. Honey, I found some wonderful families looking for a dog. They have huge yards, perfect for Max. Mom, we're not rehoming our dog. But think about your future children. He could snap any minute. I watched Mike's face change. Like how Dad's dog ran away right before I was born? The silence was thick. Barbara turned white. That night, Mike couldn't sleep. You know, I never questioned why all our pets disappeared when I was growing up. Dad's dog, my hamsters, Sarah's cat. Your mom got rid of all of them? Probably. She always had a perfect explanation. Always found them better homes or they ran away while we were at school. The next morning, I found torn up pieces of hot dog in our backyard. Something seemed off about them. I bagged them up just as Max came bounding over. No, buddy, drop it. Thank God for those obedience classes. I rushed Max to Emma's clinic. She examined the pieces I'd collected. These are laced with something. I'm running tests, but Rachel, this is serious. Someone's trying to poison him. I called Detective Johnson immediately. He reviewed our security camera footage. Well, look who we have here. The footage clearly showed Barbara tossing something over our fence at 6 a.m. When Mike saw the footage, he lost it. She could have killed him, all because she can't control us? There's more, Detective Johnson said. Your mother has a history of filing police reports about aggressive dogs in her previous neighborhood. Each dog mysteriously disappeared shortly after, Sarah called in tears. Rachel, I remember now. Every time someone or something threatened her control, they disappeared or got hurt. My best friend in high school had a mysterious accident after she encouraged me to apply to out-of-state colleges. We need to stop her, Mike said, his voice shaking, before she hurts anyone else. Looking at the security footage, I noticed something else. Barbara was carrying a thick envelope when she dropped the poisoned treats. The camera caught her stuffing it into a hidden compartment in her car's trunk. Detective Johnson, what kind of person needs a hidden compartment in their car? He leaned forward, suddenly very interested. The kind with something to hide? Detective Johnson called us to his office the next morning. He had a thick folder on his desk. Your mother-in-law's hidden compartment was interesting. Led us to look deeper into her past. Ever hear of Janet? Mike looked confused. My brother David's ex-wife? She left him after a mental breakdown. No breakdown. 3 suspicious accidents in 2 months. Her brake lines were cut, gas leak in her apartment, carbon monoxide detector mysteriously unplugged. Sarah grabbed my hand. That's why she just disappeared? We all thought, she's in Wisconsin, still terrified. And there's more. Tom, your old neighbor? The one who moved after his house fire? Mike was starting to look sick. Found something interesting in his insurance statement. Claims Barbara helped him file it. Just like she helped with Janet's car insurance claim, and her own home renovation insurance claim, and that mysterious jewelry theft claim. All those generous gifts she gives, Sarah whispered. The down payment for David's house, my car, the offers to manage Mike's inheritance. Detective Johnson spread out documents across his desk. Money from insurance scams. She files claims, gets payouts, uses the cash to control her kids. Classic pattern. My phone buzzed. Emma from the vet clinic. You need to see this. Found more poisoned treats in my parking lot. Security cam caught Barbara dropping them this morning. She's targeting my clinic now. She's spiraling, Detective Johnson said. This is good. Makes her sloppy. A knock at the door. Another detective with a laptop. You need to see this, boss. Found her connection to the Wilson case. The country club fire? Detective Johnson whistled. That was $1 million payout. What's this about the country club? An older man appeared in the doorway. Tom, the former neighbor. I always wondered about that night. Barbara insisted I invest in that club, then conveniently invited me to her beach house the weekend it burned. My mother caused that fire? Mike looked ready to collapse. People could have died. She's not just controlling, I realized. She's dangerous. All those accidents that drove people away. Or kept them in line, Sarah added. Remember how Dad always sided with her after their cruise ship robbery? The one where she lost her family jewels but somehow had no photos of them? Detective Johnson started stacking files. Insurance fraud, attempted pet poisoning, potential attempted homicide with Janet. This is enough for a warrant. Wait, Tom pulled out his phone. Check your records for February 2019. Barbara asked me to sign something as a witness. Said it was for her home insurance. I took a photo because something felt off. The photo showed a document with multiple policy numbers, each one followed by a massive payout figure. This is it. Detective Johnson stood up. This ties all the cases together, and your mother just made it easier by targeting the vet clinic. We can move now. The arrest happened during Sunday dinner, of all times. Barbara was mid-speech about family loyalty when Detective Johnson walked in. How dare you interrupt a family dinner? She stood up, dropping her fork with a clatter. Barbara Thompson, we have a warrant for your arrest, insurance fraud, attempted animal cruelty, and conspiracy to commit bodily harm. This is ridiculous. Mike, tell them. This is all her doing. She pointed at me with a shaking finger. Ever since she came into our lives with that mongrel dog? No, Mom. The security footage, the insurance documents, Janet's testimony. Janet? That little gold digger? She was ruining our family. Like how I was ruining the family? I stood up. Or Tom? Or anyone else who didn't bow to your control? Detective Johnson pulled out handcuffs while his partner started reading rights. Barbara made one last desperate attempt. Everything I did was for this family. Those insurance claims paid for your education, Sarah. Your house, Mike. I kept this family respectable. By poisoning dogs, terrorizing Janet, setting fires? Sarah's voice cracked. That's not love, Mom. That's control. The country club fire investigation is reopened, Detective Johnson added. Your old friend Tom had quite a story about that night. You ungrateful children. After everything I've done, all the sacrifices. As they led her away, Mike found the hidden compartment key in her purse. Inside her car, we discovered decades of evidence. Forged documents, insurance claims, photos of stolen jewelry that never existed. Look at these dates, Sarah pointed to a notebook. Every time someone threatened her control, there was a convenient accident or theft. Then she'd sweep in with help from her insurance payouts. Emma arrived with Max, who bounded over happily. Lab confirmed the treats were poisoned, adding animal cruelty to her charges. The DA's office called. Detective Johnson returned from his car. With Janet's testimony about the brake lines and Tom's evidence about the country club, they're pushing for maximum sentences. Later that night, Mike found an old photo album. All these perfect family photos, every vacation funded by fraud, every gift bought with manipulation. You okay? I sat beside him. Yeah, for the first time I actually am. No more walking on eggshells, no more guilt trips. Sarah joined us with coffee. David called. He's flying in tomorrow, says he finally understands why Janet left. He wants to contact her, apologize. The investigators found Mom's private accounts, Mike added. All those insurance payouts, millions hidden away. She could have just lived comfortably, been a normal mom. Normal moms don't try to poison dogs, Emma pointed out, scratching Max behind the ears. Or terrorize daughters-in-law, I added. Or set buildings on fire. The neighbors are already gossiping. Sarah checked her phone. Her perfect reputation is toast. Good. Mike closed the album. No more perfect family facade. Just real family. Max barked in agreement, making us all laugh. Sometimes karma works in mysterious ways. My mother-in-law tried to poison my dog and ended up exposing her own decades-long crime spree instead. What would you do if you discovered your mother-in-law's generous gifts to your family were actually funded by criminal activities? Would you expose her and risk destroying your family's stability? Or keep quiet to maintain peace? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Think about it. Every house down payment, every car, every lavish vacation was bought with insurance fraud money? Was Barbara's crime of trying to maintain her family's wealthy image worse than the potential crime of staying silent once you knew the truth? If you enjoyed this twisted tale of family drama and revenge, hit that like button and subscribe for more stories that explore the dark side of family relationships. Thanks for watching, and remember, sometimes the perfect family facade hides the ugliest truths.